What's going on, guys? I'm Maze. And over the past 21 years of the Pokemon anime, our main protagonist Ash Ketchum has caught many cool Pokemon for each of his regional teams. However, have you ever wished Ash would have caught a Pokemon you particularly like, or felt like it fits him better than another Pokemon he's owned before? Well, for today's video, I've decided I'm going to discuss my personal version of Ash Ketchum's regional teams. What Pokemon I wish he owned for each region/series. Before I get into that though, I need to lay down some ground rules for this video. Rule 1. I must only make a team maximum of 6 Pokemon, despite Ash having more than 6 Pokemon before. That way, I can balance out each team with the Pokemon typings. Though, I am allowed to include some honorable mentions for each regional team. Pikachu must be included in each regional team too, so technically I only really have 5 choices. As for the final rule 2 though, I must only use new Pokemon and forms that debuted in the region for each regional team, not older Pokemon. For example, by using Kalos, I can only include Kalos Pokemon and Kalos forms, not any of the Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, and Unova Pokemon. Pokemon Ash owned for each regional team though can be allowed, just as long as there's at least one new addition to each team. With that said, that concludes the rules. So all I really need to say next is that please remember that every Pokemon I choose for this video will be based on my personal opinions. So I'd like you to respect mine, and I shall respect yours in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your personal Ash Ketchum teams. But with that intro now stated though, let's not waste any more time and jump right into this discussion. Firstly, we of course have Ash's Kanto team, which originally he had a total of 12 Pokemon, technically 41, although some of them of course got released and most of them are Tauros. But regardless of that, it was still kind of hard to come up with only a team of 6, as I quite particularly liked all of Ash's Kanto Pokemon choices. But towards the end, I only kept 4 of Ash's original Kanto Pokemon, which are Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Charizard, and Squirtle. I just feel like each of them Pokemon scream Ash so much. Although, I am going to evolve Bulbasaur into an Ivysaur, and only an Ivysaur. Why? It is only simply because I always wanted Ash to have a fully evolved Kanto starter, a middle evolved Kanto starter, and a first form Kanto starter. Not 2 first forms and a fully evolved. It just felt weird. And yeah, sure, I have the opportunity to evolve Ivysaur into an awesome Venusaur, and Squirtle into a Blastoise. However, Ash was a beginner trainer in the Kanto series. I don't think he would have been able to make that many Pokemon become fully evolved, especially these starters with their magnificent power. So, yeah. It's not like Bulbasaur's character would be drastically changed too, as an Ivysaur, as both Ivysaur and Bulbasaur are around the same size. I could definitely see Bulbasaur still have that loyal, heartwarming personality. Just pretend he evolved during the episode where he refused to evolve. That would have been perfect. Moving on though, let's now finally introduce the 2 new Pokemon I am going to give Ash, which is Haunter and Dratini. Firstly for Haunter, yes, he isn't technically new, as Ash used one in his battle against Sabrina. Well, kind of. However, Ash never officially caught the Pokemon, and even let Sabrina keep it. However, for my version of this team, Ash would have actually kept Haunter, and it would have stayed a Haunter for the rest of the series, performing pretty well in battles due to its ghost type moves. This being the reason, along with its hilarious personality, why I gave Ash this Haunter. The ghost type moves would have just really helped out Ash a lot at times. Though, maybe in a series like Advanced Generation or Diamond and Pearl, this Pokemon would then evolve into a Gengar with the help of Ash's friend trading it back and forth, and then it would become even more of a powerful Pokemon than ever before, which would be even more sweet. As for Dratini though, I don't know, when I just stare at this Pokemon, I could see Ash owning one. For example, the story I've come up with for this Pokemon is that once Ash catches this Pokemon, it teaches the young beginner how hard it is to look after a Dragon-type Pokemon. It needed more special care than any other Pokemon. This Pokemon wouldn't even be that good in battles at first either, due to it only being in its first form. in which Ash would have to then train constantly with this Pokemon to make it stronger, and even comfort the Pokemon when it gets sad after losing a battle, due to acting like a young baby at times as well. Although, once leaving this Pokemon at Professor Oak's lab towards the end of Kanto or Johto, Ash would then go upon this Pokemon again in the Advanced Generation series, and it would then finally evolve after having an intense battle against the Team Rocket trio. And then only a couple episodes later in a Frontier Brain battle, it would then evolve into a Dragonite and help Ash get whatever Frontier symbol he was aiming for. This shown the progression of their strength and even their relationship. Regardless of that though, that concludes my Kanto team for Ash. I think it suits him really well and has a little bit of balance with the typings. Honorable mentions for this team though include a Nidoking, a Cubone, a Dugong, his Snorlax, which I still really adore, his Pidgeot, and his Primeape. Pretty much, I thought some of these Pokemon fit Ash's personality, but not as much as the Pokemon I ended up choosing. Next up, we have Ash's Johto team, which much like Kanto, I ended up keeping 4 Pokemon Ash originally had, which was Pikachu, Sinnoh, Totodile, and Heracross. Though, I am going to fully evolve Sinnoh and Totodile. Why that is because when I was a kid, I just always thought these 2 Pokemon would eventually evolve into their fully evolved selves, due to Ash performing better as a Pokemon trainer, this showing his progression as a trainer. Plus, you know, both of them look badass. Just imagine Typhlosion erupting eruptions, using Thunder Punches, and Feraligatr using Hydro Pump and Ice Punch. Though, it would also have Bite to keep the personality Totodile had. It would even still dance after winning any battle, or just in general being happy. Which, to be honest, would have been even more hilarious than Totodile, as it's a bulky, mighty fully evolved starter doing such random things. Regardless of those starters though, if you've watched my video titled Top 10 Pokemon I Should Have Caught, you should know which 2 Pokemon I'm about to bring up next, which is Espeon and Larvitar. Be sure to check out that video after this one. But yeah, firstly for Espeon, I just always imagined Ash at some point catching an Eevee due to its immense popularity, and then because Gary ended up having an Umbreon, it made complete sense that if Ash caught an Eevee, it would be an Espeon, due to it being the complete opposite of Umbreon, much like how Ash and Gary are when it comes to their rivalry. The 2 Pokemon even having an intense battle in the Johto League. Not only that, but compared to other Psychic type Pokemon, I feel like this one fits Ash the best, due to its looks, the range of moves it can learn, and its incredible speed, which Ash loves speedy Pokemon and incorporates it into his strategies. So, pretty much, I think it's a perfect Pokemon for Ash. Moving on to Larvitar though, the Larvitar Ash ended up caring for, I really thought towards the end of the arc where it meets its mother would have seen how happy Larvitar ended up being with Ash and tell it to stay with Ash, in which then Ash would train with this Pokemon to become the quite powerful opponent due to the large amount of powerful rock and dark type moves it can learn. Then eventually evolving in the Advanced Generation or Diamond Pearl series as well, which would have shown the progression the 2 had to go through perfectly, due to the Pokemon being quite the wimp when it hatched from its egg at first when it comes to both battles and how it views other humans. It would have been so epic. So, as you can see, I'm allowing my dreams to play out by putting Larvitar in this team. Which overall, I think this team is mighty powerful. Definitely my favorite one I made for this video as well. Honorable mentions include only Ash's Noctowl. You can never go wrong with having a flying type on your team, but I lean more towards putting Larvitar on this list. Moving on, we are now going to talk about Ash's Hoenn team. For this team, I ended up keeping Pikachu, Sceptile, and Corphish, whereas the 3 other members will be new. Some of you may be wondering why I'm keeping Corphish though, and that is simply because I feel like there isn't another water type in Hoenn that fits Ash, unlike this Pokemon. Nor would I really make it evolve either, as it seems way more fitting as a Corphish. Anyway, with that said, let's now introduce Blaziken, Ninjask, and Flygon. Firstly for Blaziken, I decided to choose this Pokemon because it's the only fire type in the Hoenn region which really fits Ash, due to its rapid speed and appealing moveset. That moveset including strapping moves such as Sky Uppercut, which I'm sure both Ash and Blaziken would have so much fun using to take down so many opponents with, just like Seismic tossing away with Charizard. Now sure, May has a Blaziken in this region, but let's just pretend she doesn't either have one or that both Ash and May do, much like how they both shed a Bulbasaur and a Squirtle. We ain't wanting nobody like Torkoal, which in my opinion wasn't really a good choice for Ash due to how bland and basic its moveset and design was. Even the personality the anime gave it was kind of unlikable for me. Though, I will admit, it was fresh and it was different. So, props to that in a little way, I guess. Regardless of that though, let's now dash through Ninjask. And why I say dash is because I only really have one reason for this Pokemon, and that is because it has swift speed, which of course relates to Ash. So, yeah, better than a basic Swallow to me as well, though I guess Swallow was decent. Just there could be more opportunities with this bug flying type. Oh, I guess there's a second reason after all, it's bug typing. Moving on to Flygon though, again one reason is speed. So I guess Ash is having so many speedy Pokemon this time around. And this Pokemon also has a variety of different moves, which I could have totally seen Ash coming up with cool strategies regarding them, much like he does for all of his other Pokemon. For example, he could merge a move with Sandstorm to make the attack more powerful, such as Dragon Breath. Regardless of move combos too, Flygon still does have a large range of ground type moves such as Earth Power, which could help out Ash dearly. For a bonus point too, Flygon's design just screams Ash to me. I could really see the two having such a loyal and fun bond. Nothing as special as a dancing for alligator, but still lovely in a way. And with that said, that concludes the Hoenn team. Definitely seems far more interesting to me than what we received in the Advanced Generation series. No honorable mentions are needed to be said. Following Hoenn, we of course have Sinnoh, Ash's Sinnoh team, which surprisingly, there's only one new Pokemon I decided to add for this team, and that is because Ash's Sinnoh team was too good of choices already, one of the best teams Ash had overall. But the Pokemon I'm replacing is unfortunately Torterra, due to it being the weakest link out of all the rest, in my opinion. Not battle wise, but as a character in general. And I'm also replacing Gible, as of course Ash actually had 7 Pokemon for Sinnoh. Though, Gible, regardless of its funny personality, didn't offer much really compared to the others. So, with that said, taking Torterra and Gible's place is Lucario. Tell me something, anime writers. Why the hell did you not give Ash a Lucario despite giving Ash the unbelievable and magical aura ability, which Lucarios have deep inside themselves as well? It makes no sense to me. Not only that, but this Pokemon comes equipped with some godlike moves which fit Ash really well. Just take a look at them. They're perfect and even strong. It's not like Lucario is a legendary or mythical Pokemon too. So, what's the excuse for Ash not having one? Even its design looks like a Pokemon Ash would own. I might be too over the top when it comes to wanting Ash to have this Pokemon, but it's too flawless in my eyes, which is why I'm adding it to his Sinnoh team here. To see more excitement regarding this Pokemon, you can check out that top 10 I mentioned earlier on after this video. In fact, the one honorable mention I have of this team that isn't Torterra and Gible is Weavile, which was mentioned in that video too. So I won't say that much for Weavile here, apart from the fact that I saw a nice story where it turns from an edgy Pokemon to a loving Pokemon that performs spectacularly in battles due to its great range of moves such as Icicle Spear. Succeeding Ash's Sinnoh team, we now have Ash's Unova team. Originally consisting of 10 Pokemon, I managed to break it down to only 6 Pokemon. 4 of them, however, are ones we already know, which are Pikachu, Snivy, Oshawott, and Crocodile. Though, I am going to fully evolve Snivy into Superior, And that is because I believe Snivy, regardless of Crocodile and maybe Pignite, was one of Ash's strongest Unova team members. She deserved to evolve and obtain even more stronger moves. Not only that, but could you imagine the kind of rivalry it could have had against Trip Superior? That would have been quite neat. Just imagine a Superior using a track too. I would find that quite funny. As, let's be real, I don't think Snivy would ever forget Attract, as it's one of its most prominent and memorable features. Not only that though, but I want to make Oshawott evolve into a Duwott at least. That way, it can follow the original plan that Team Plasma vs Team Rocket Arc had, apparently, before it got cancelled, and even make the Pokemon a little bit more hardy, but also keeping its adorable, humorous personality. I can never see it fully evolving into a Samurott. That doesn't really fit the Pokemon, nor Ash. With that said though, let's now finally introduce the new members, which are both Bravery and Scolipede. Is it just me that finds Bravery a way better bird than Unpheasant in both battles and designs? I sure hope not, as this Pokemon just screams Ash to me in any way possible regarding those two factors. And as you can probably guess already, for Scolipede, it's pretty darn quick, so Ash would have a blast using that in battles against certain Pokemon. It also gives him the option to use some pretty powerful bug and poison type moves, which we haven't really seen him use before on other Pokemon, apart from maybe getting his Leavanny to use that. Though that doesn't exist in my version of this team. To be honest though, that wraps up all my reasons. Though other Pokemon I was thinking to include were Ash's Pignite, Excadrill, Swilus, and Ash's Scraggy evolving into a Scrafty. All of them are pretty tough and relate to Ash in one way or another. One way or another. Finally for this list, we now come to probably the most popular Ash Ketchum team, and that is his Kalos team. Now yes, I'm sure many of you who watch Sun and Moon are wondering what Pokemon out of like Ash to own in the Alola region. However, for all we know, Ash could end up catching 2 more Pokemon before the anime ends. Yes, if you don't watch Sun and Moon, he only has 4 Pokemon on hand at this moment in time, despite the series going to pass 110 episodes in a couple weeks time from this recording. Though, I will inform you in a later video, once this full team gets revealed for the Alola League, what I like about each member and who I would swap out. For now though, let's focus on his Kalos team, shall we? It really hurt me to try and swap some Pokemon out, as this team is my favourite team Ash has ever had. Which is why there are 5 familiar faces still present, as I could only remove 1 member. Pikachu, Greninja, Talonflame, Hawlucha, and Goodra, whereas the new Pokemon is Aegislash. I'm sorry, Neuven. Not gonna lie, I was originally intending on replacing Talonflame or Hawlucha with Go-Goat, but I just love those 2 Pokemon a lot, along with the others, so Go-Goat is at least an honourable mention here. As for Aegislash though, who replaced Neuven, I believe it just adds more variety to the team, as Neuven created another dragon typing in the team, which we already have the muscular Goodra for, so there was a need for another dragon type. Well, until it got released I guess, but Ash still called it back for the Kalos League regardless. And Neuven, it also created another flying type on the team, which Talonflame and Hawlucha is enough, whereas Aegislash's Steel and Ghost typing is something completely different than the other Pokemon. Not to forget too, that Aegislash has well built moves such as the Priority Shadow Sneak and King Shield, which could have helped Ash out a lot in certain situations. And then we also have access to other moves such as Iron Head and Sword Stance, which, ooh, that would destroy so many opponents. Neuven couldn't even keep up at times compared to other members too, though I still like the Pokemon, don't worry. With Aegislash too, I could just envision such cool scenes at times too, such as Ash holding Aegislash to battle against another Pokemon, or whatever, which would have been some of the most epicest scenes we would have seen in the anime, just by thinking about it. The two would also have such a very lovely bond. So, yeah, that's pretty much my reasoning for Aegislash, altogether making an even more shredded and fulfilling team. Fun fact, Aegislash is actually one of my all-time favourite Pokemon as well. He's just that remarkable to me. And that concludes today's discussion. Do you agree with my personal picks for Ash's teams, or do you think there's even better Pokemon out there that Ash could have owned? If so, once again, let me know in the comments down below what you personally think. I'd love to hear. But for now, if you did enjoy this video, then please be sure to consider leaving a like, a share, and if you're new here, a subscribe along with hitting that bell icon to stay in loop with all things Pokemon anime related. If you want to support this channel in any further way, I also have a Patreon. Link in the description below. Thank you for watching everybody. This is Entity Maze, signing out.